CNBC TV 18 Weekender.
Hello and welcome to this very special episode of The Weekender. Hope you guys are having a good day, because if you're not, our guest today is a fan of movies. He'll find you and feed you. Varun, the MD of Britannia Industries, joins us now. Thanks a lot, Varun, for joining in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
You worked for Pepsi for 20 years, almost 20 years. Before that, you were with Unilever, and now 4 years with Britannia. You must be a compulsive snacker, are you?
Compulsive snacker and drinker, you mean?
Okay, yeah, Pepsi drinker, if I may.
Right. The problem with me is that if I snack, I put on weight like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
So I've got to be really, really careful about what I put into my mouth. And that prevents me from being a compulsive snacker.
Is that the reason behind the Nutri-Choice range of biscuits in Britannia?
No, it was launched before I came into Britannia, but I love the 5-grain Nutri-Choice biscuits.
All right, so let's talk business. Varun, you've been amazing for the company's operational performance. That's on record. The time you joined, the margins were around 7%. Now they're 14%. Is that trajectory likely to continue? 14% EBITDA margins. Can we better that going forward?
Well, it's very important to be optimistic about what we can do. I certainly think that it can be better. Obviously, it's going to be a hard trek. It's not going to be an easy trek from here on. We've gotten to a stage where we are, way beyond where we were and way beyond what we thought we would be. And, the team is completely like a dog on a bone. And they're looking at each and every possibility of cost savings.
Right. So have the lowest hanging fruits been plucked away as far as your operational performance is concerned? Now, as it gets tough, what kind of margins can we expect? Can you better, say, 16, 17, 15, the wide range of analyst expectations that there are on the street?
We don't give forward-looking statements, so excuse me for this. But let me tell you one thing. I just want to bring one thing out here. The fact is that from a manufacturing standpoint, we are only a 12, 13-year-old company, right? Because this industry was, a small-scale protection kind of an industry. We started our own manufacturing just about 12, 13 years back. So we've learned the ropes quite well, but let me tell you that every day we unearth more potential on costs.
Where is the cost saving coming in from? What is your brief to the new CFO?
So it comes from supply chain. It comes from the recipe. It comes from wastages. It also comes from sales and marketing. The kind of margins, the kind of the discounts that we give to our customers, etc. So it's all across. But I would say the bulk of it stays in the area of supply chain.
The next leg of growth, where will that come from? Volumes, margins, or increased distribution?
Now, you're asking me such difficult questions, but I can tell you it'll have to come from everything, right? So if you were to look at top line, you're right. We've grown well in times where categories haven't been growing fast enough. But I do think that even within the categories that we operate in, there are ample opportunities, and I've said this many times, and I'm repeating myself when I say this. There are subcategories within biscuits where obviously we are not as strong as we would like to be, right? The premium creams category, we used to be 75% share, today we are 35% share. We've got to inch our way back there, right? The whole value category, value creams, value cookies, we are a very small share, we're a single-digit share. So there's opportunity there, and these are not unprofitable categories, they are reasonably profitable categories. So there are categories like that where we have opportunities, and we are going to make sure that we leave absolutely nothing to chance, and we, figure out what needs to be done to, get better shares there. Then there are some emerging categories, which are the super premium categories within biscuits, which we are taking the lead on, and that's moving in the right direction. But besides that, think about cakes. Cakes. As we remember, as we've grown up, cakes is such a delightful category. If we are able to bring recipes and formats which are very different, truly delightful, technologically advanced, I think that can be a huge category. Similarly, rusk. Today we have a vanilla rusk. It's a bread which is double baked,
Right.
and our biggest innovation is milk rusk, right? They can be, if you were to go to the international market, if you were ever to travel to Paris or any of these advanced countries, you will see the kind of formats that exist there. Breads of the world, with all sorts of ingredients, healthy rusks, delightful rusks, etc. Then there are certain categories which we haven't even gotten into, and they are still in the bakery space, right? We haven't even gotten to. The country hasn't gotten to.
What would those categories be?
There are lots of those categories. There are bars, there are croissants, long shelf life croissants, all sorts of things. And those are the categories which could be the new dawn for the bakery category in India. And then there is everything beyond that, right? Then there are all the other macro snacking categories, which are salty snacks, which are chocolates or chocolate-based categories, etc. So there are lots out there. And frankly, as a strong food brand, we have a right to succeed.
Varun, if I have to look at Britannia, say a few years from now, will it still be the bakery major, which is into biscuits, cookies, as well as cakes, or is there a chance of moving into other categories too?
Well, Britannia is certainly going to be a total foods company. I can promise you that. So we are going to look at not just a lot of space within bakery, where either we are weak or we are non-existent, and also look at outside of that in the entire macro snacking space, where I think there are lots of potential opportunities.
Throw some more light on that. Are you looking at Britannia chips, Britannia pancake mixes, Britannia noodles, Britannia what?
Believe me, I won't be able to share it with you. Maybe we'll have the same interview a couple of years from today, and we'll talk about what we've done. But what we are doing is we are evaluating each and every niche, each and every crevice in each and every category that we are in and we aren't in, so that we can figure out which are the products which are going to take us to this new avatar of being a total foods company.
So you're taxiing right now. When does the takeoff happen?
The takeoff actually is going to happen very soon, because one of the categories we are very close to finalizing. So I would think that by the end of the year, the takeoff will happen in one of the categories, and that could be a really groundbreaking category for a country like India.
Are you a fan of Apple and Apple products and Steve Jobs?
I think Steve Jobs was a whiz kid. He was an amazing guy. His thinking, his discipline, design thinking more than anything else was something else.
I asked that question primarily because I see a lot of parallels when you talk about the new category that you're going to launch. Very disruptive, very soon. The veil of secrecy. I heard your con call.
I wish I could be 0.1% of what Steve Jobs.
And this is going to be the biggest bet of my life, is what you said to one interviewer as well.
No. I wish I was 0.1% of Steve Jobs.
All right, we'll keep that secrecy intact right now. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk more about Britannia and Varun Berry. Hang on.
CNBC TV 18 Weekender.
Welcome back in conversation with Varun Berry of Britannia. Varun, before going to break, we were talking about the future products, but tell me about the recent past, your third quarter performance marked by demonetization, 2% volume growth. When do we see volumes resuming, where volume growth resuming back to the double-digit terrain?
It's going to take some time, Mangalam. I think it's the demonetization has definitely got the spirits of the consumers down. It's probably going to take 3 to 6 months. Every month we are seeing better results than the previous month. But getting back to where we were in the month of October will take 3 to 6 months. Probably, there's going to be a little bit of tepid growth in the first quarter of the next financial year, and thereafter we should get back to a pretty robust growth environment.
The bone of contention for Britannia so far has been the Hindi belt. The company's market share lags out there. And I'm not drawing any parallel with a BJP right now, but you guys are a pan-India company. Gujarat, you all recently did fairly well. UP is the key for the next leg of growth. What is happening out there? Can we expect some big dhamaka there?
Well, dhamakas can't happen because we are not looking at strategies which are going to give us instant results. There are some easy ways to do it. Drop price, give high discounts. All those are like dhamaka strategies, right? Where you can say, okay, I'll do this, I'll drop prices of a certain product, and I'm going to get huge distribution, I'm going to get huge gains. But then you've got to cycle that the next year, and it's going to get the whole competition riled up. So our strategy is do it slowly, steadily, but make sure that you get it surely up there, and then you have the ability to sustain it.
So what is your market share currently in the Hindi belt, and what would you like it to be?
We are early teens.
Okay.
And I would think that we should be gaining at least 2 to 3 share points every year.
How serious are you about the international business as a contributor to your revenue?
So it's going to move slowly. I would say in the next 5 years, if we can get from the 6-7% that we get today to about 12-13%, I would be quite happy with that. And this is without any acquisition.
Okay.
But with acquisitions, if we have some good targets in the future, if we see that we have a right to succeed, and there's something which sort of could take us there, that could be a different trajectory.
Are you guys evaluating any acquisition options?
Not as yet. This is not the time to do it.
Will you guys be open to someone else acquiring you all?
Not at all.
Tell us a little about your relation with the promoters of the company, because lately we've had a lot of these principal agent problems, right? The Tatas, we had even Infosys. There was a bit of a skirmish between the boards and the management. So how do you maintain that?
I think we've got a fantastic board, right? And the chairman, which is Mr. Wadia himself, I find him to be one of the brightest individuals that I've interacted with. Great sense for business. He's over the years, he's matured. He's come to a stage where he really understands the strengths and weaknesses of a business. Very professional. I meet him, and the team meets him once a month, and that day in a month, frankly, all of us go back with a lot of value addition. He understands and he adds value where he knows what to say, and where he doesn't, he says that I go with your judgment. So I think we've got mutual respect. He respects me for what I do well. I respect him for what he does well, and it's a great relationship.
So the Wadias are not looking to sell their stake in Britannia?
Not at all. He's very happy to build this company to take it to a very different level. Taking
the business to a very different level comes with its own share of competition. Competition is rife. How are you planning to keep up with that?
You're absolutely right. The competition is aggressive. The competition is obviously very competent. You spoke about Patanjali, a very aggressive competitor coming into the market. You spoke about Parle. Again, I think I have great respect for the company. They're the oldest biscuit company, and they've got a stranglehold in certain categories. ITC, again, fresh into the business, but doing extremely well. Now, with that kind of competition, with differences of ideology, differences of strategy, different business models, it's very important for us to make sure that we keep on the path as we determine for ourselves.
Does this remind you of the cola wars that you had in your heyday at Pepsi?
Well, those were at a very different level. Frankly, the cola wars were the bloodiest wars that I've been through. Those were at a very different level. This is fairly docile compared to what the cola wars used to be. Now the cola wars are also not what they used to be, by the way.
So Varun Berry is a chip of the old block. He can fight whatever wars come in from the competition right now because he's seen the bloody cola wars, as you said.
Yeah, and I've seen it in many countries.
Right.
So yeah, no, this is nowhere near that intensity.
So you can take on anything that comes in the brisket space right now.
Well, yeah, it's not about taking on. I'm in the space of making sure that I keep ahead, and it's not like the cola wars. Cola wars were about, it was just about winning at any cost. Here it's not about winning at any cost. Here it's about winning within the constraints, within the framework that we operate in.
Did the packaging controversy affect your sales by any chance?
No, not really. It's such a small SKU. It wasn't a big deal at all.
Another company that you have worked with is Unilever. They are also fairly aggressive, getting into the food processing space. ITC, we had an interview with Mr. Sanjeev Puri. He has a 1 lakh crore target coming in from FMCG in the next 13 years. What is your plan there?
Okay, now there are lots of questions in there. So, so you're saying that ITC is looking at expansion, which is absolutely true. They've shown in the past that they've gotten into different categories and they've got traction in those categories. Sanjeev, I've just met him once, but very aggressive guy from whatever you read, is really looking at building business. Unilever, obviously trying to build the food business. Britannia also looking at building the food business. But that's where the game becomes interesting.
On a humorous note, I mean, everyone is doing well. You've met Sanjeev once. You've done so much for Britannia. Do these guys never call you and ask you to join them?
No.
You've never got any call from, say, Nestle or anyone as well?
Not at all.
And if you do, what would it take for Varun Berry to move out of Britannia?
Now I'm too old to, to join other companies. I have to do building a business, leaving a legacy, and that's what I'm happy doing.
Right. On that note, we'll take a short break, come back, and we'll see an unseen side of Varun Berry.
CNBC TV 18 Weekender.
Welcome back. Business talks over. Now it's time for some fun. Mr. Berry, here's a rapid fire that we have. Let's make it crisp and crunchy. Did you ever give...
Like a cookie?
Like a cookie. Okay. Did you
Britannia cookie.
A Britannia cookie. All right. What if you caught your children eating a competitor's product?
So I did catch my younger son eat a competitor's product once. And I asked him, I said, why are you consuming this product? And he's 21 years old now. And he said, it's a better product. So we went and we reformulated the product that...
You'll have to tell me the product, you'll have to tell me the competitor, and you'll have to tell me what you did about that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So this is like 100%... okay, I'll tell you the product. It was hide and seek.
Okay.
Okay, it's a parlay product, and he liked it. It's a chocolate chip cookie. So he was eating that, and he said, Dad, it's a great product. So we went and reformulated our Good Day Choco Chip. And today he prefers the Good Day Choco Chip to hide and seek. So I've got that worked out.
Do you get to sample all the products that go out of the Britannia stable before anyone else?
Yes, I like to do that.
You like to do that?
Yeah.
So how many cookies do you eat a day?
No, so I don't eat too many cookies a day. I probably have 3 or 4 cookies a day. But, we have a day which is earmarked for our stage gate meeting where all the products in the pipeline, all the prototypes are brought to the table with a larger team and we try all of those.
And the discussions are very vehement, I reckon?
Yeah, and that day I work out for about 3 hours.
What are the top 5 priorities of Britannia right now?
So closer home, in the bakery space, any vacant spaces in bakery, moving on to macro snacks. Right now, just staying within that space.
What are the vacant spaces?
No, that I won't tell you right now.
I don't see Britannia croissants anywhere, so maybe is that an interesting space to be?
Yeah, it is.
Biscottis?
Biscotti we've just launched.
Yeah, I saw that.
We've launched biscottis, but yeah, there'll be lots of. Believe me, there are lots of bakery spaces that we are not present in. So I won't be able to tell you what, but
You're behaving Jobsian again.
Believe me.
The one product that you can't do without.
Actually, my favorite product, all-time favorite, if you say in the last 40 years, which is the product that you like the most, I would say it's the iPod.
It's the iPod. What's on your iPod right now?
Well, where is the iPod now? I hardly use it because
your iPhone. That's as good as an iPod.
It's all in the iPhone. And frankly, I've been very bad. I haven't even downloaded any music in the last 6 months. So it's all my old music which I keep hearing.
Which would be?
Which would be the Doors, the Beatles, and all the 60s and 70s kind of music.
Now, what would an ideal retirement plan for Varun Berry be?
Ideal retirement plan would be to play golf 3-4 times a week, watch movies, travel, be with the kids.
What would you do on a weekend?
I'm a big movie buff.
Which was the last film that you saw and you would recommend it to all our viewers?
Split.
Okay.
It's a great movie. It's by Night Shyamalan. So he did Sixth Sense, and then he did Unbreakables, and then there was a huge hiatus where he did many movies which weren't great. So he's come back with a bang.
All right, Varun, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You're a golf player. May all your plans for Britannia and life always be on par. Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
CNBC TV 18.